Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into how global influence and power are, well, rapidly being redefined. We're exploring a fascinating mix of geopolitical shifts, groundbreaking tech leaps, and even record-breaking philanthropy. Our mission really is to pull out those truly insightful takeaways, those aha moments, and give you a shortcut to being incredibly well-informed on the currents shaping our world right now.
Yeah, and what's crucial here, I think, is how these seemingly disconnected events, a critical military interception, a huge step in autonomous tech, and this massive act of giving ship. Each one tells us something pretty profound about who holds power and how it's being used today. We've pulled insights from several places: Reuters, Arab News, Business Standard, Yahoo Finance, and the Economic Times. So we've got diverse perspectives on these big headlines.
Exactly. So, first up, let's look at how power is being asserted, maybe challenged in the Middle East. There are recent reports indicating the Israeli army intercepted a ballistic missile fired from Yemen. It was likely headed for strategic spots like Eilat. And this isn't an isolated incident, is it? It feels like part of a dangerous pattern.
That's right. It really underscores the persistent volatility there.
Mm.
Since November 2023, these Yemen-based Houthi groups have been, well, a constant threat, particularly around the Red Sea. What sometimes gets missed is just how frequent these attempts are. This interception, reported as most likely successfully stopped by advanced air defense, it directly reflects these escalating tensions.
So you have to wonder, right? Does this specific missile mean a new target strategy, maybe a more capable threat from the Houthis? Or is it just, another dangerous move in this ongoing conflict that just seems to defy any kind of resolution?
That's precisely the question. While the interception itself shows sophisticated defense capabilities, it also highlights this continuous, really high-stakes game being played out. The sources we looked at, they don't detail specific diplomatic breakthroughs, which unfortunately suggests a grim continuation of this volatile situation.
And it makes you think about the ripple effects too, doesn't it? On global shipping, trade. I mean, the Red Sea is pivotal.
Absolutely critical.
Okay, so let's pivot now. From those established, maybe more traditional power dynamics to the world of disruptive technology, this is where new forms of influence are just rapidly emerging. Tesla, for instance. They just delivered something truly groundbreaking. A Model Y vehicle drove completely driverless, 100 kilometers, from the factory to a customer's home
Wow.
with nobody inside the car.
That is genuinely mind-boggling. It's not just about convenience, is it? This fundamentally shifts our whole understanding of what autonomous vehicles can do. Tesla stated they met Level 4 autonomous driving standards. And for anyone unfamiliar, Level 4 means the car can operate completely independently under specific conditions. No human intervention needed within those conditions.
That's a critical distinction from the earlier levels we've heard about.
Exactly. Elon Musk believes this is sort of a foundational step towards building the infrastructure for their future robotaxi services. The wider implication here isn't just a new era for EVs, but how quickly this tech could reshape, well, everything. Urban planning, transport infrastructure, even our legal frameworks around liability.
That sounds incredibly ambitious, huge potential. But what are the real-world hurdles to scaling robotaxis beyond this one test? Are we talking regulatory roadblocks, public trust issues, maybe infrastructure limits that the sources didn't really focus on?
Yeah, those are definitely the big questions. Look, it's a massive step towards full autonomy being widespread, but level 4 still has its limits. You wouldn't send it out driving itself in a blizzard through the mountains, not yet anyway. Public acceptance is huge, and then there's a patchwork of regulations globally. It's a powerful technological leap, no doubt. But the real challenge is integrating it smoothly into our, complex human world.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've looked at military power, tech disruption. Let's turn to a third area shaping influence, and that's the profound impact individual actions can have, especially on a global scale through philanthropy. Legendary investor Warren Buffett just announced his largest annual donation yet, about $6 billion worth of Berkshire Hathaway shares, primarily going to the Gates Foundation and four family charities.
And the key insight here isn't just the staggering amount. Though $6 billion is obviously huge, it's a significant chunk of his personal net worth going to charity. It's also how he structured it. Buffett keeps a 13.8% stake in Berkshire Hathaway, so he ensures his continued influence in the company's management while making this monumental contribution.
Which prompts us to consider the evolving role of philanthropy in shaping global policy, doesn't it? Are we seeing perhaps a new form of private governance emerging, where immense wealth starts dictating social priorities maybe more directly than before?
Well, it's clearly a very savvy financial move for managing his wealth and legacy. But you're right, some critics might argue that this model, where donors keep significant control, could sometimes sideline the organizations they're trying to help. Is there a counterargument presented, or is this just the new reality?
That's a really valid point. The counterargument you often hear centers on the donor's unique expertise and their long-term vision. Buffett's continued involvement, in theory, ensures the capital is used with maximum strategic impact, drawing on his decades of financial know-how. But it certainly opens up a larger conversation, doesn't it, about the balance of power between these huge philanthropic foundations and the public institutions or local groups they support.
Definitely a conversation worth having.
So, wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you listening? We've seen geopolitical flashpoints highlighting established power structures. We've seen cutting-edge tech creating entirely new forms of influence. And we've seen the powerful impact of philanthropy illustrating just how far personal wealth can reach. The global landscape is shifting fast.
And if you place this in a broader context, it really highlights this constant interplay between conflict, innovation, and global responsibility. It underscores how different forms of power are exerted, how they're challenged, and how they're being transformed right now. So the core question becomes, as these rapid developments keep reshaping not just specific industries or regions, but our collective future, how will you navigate a world where influence itself is constantly being redefined? What stands out to you as the most impactful of these stories?
It is a lot to consider, but hopefully you now feel incredibly well informed about some of the biggest stories shaping our world. Keep digging, keep questioning, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive.